Hey y'all, welcome back to Tobacco Leaf Legacies. This is Cheryl, and I've got a very special video for you today. I am with my beautiful cousin Ann, and we are going to make, or she is going to make, her homemade bread. Y'all, it is so good, it just makes me want to cry. I'm going to tell you how I met up with my cousin. You remember the photo project video that I did? If y'all haven't seen it, go back through my videos and check it out. That is how I connected with her. She was one of the ones that I sent the copies of the pictures to and was asking, do you know who some of these people are? And we just had such a good chat and stuff on the phone that I had asked if I could come over, and she was kind enough to say yes. And I have just had a ball spending time with her and seeing her goodies from her home and hearing stories, and it's just been wonderful. So I had asked her. Now, y'all, she is famous for this bread. Okay, it is really, really good. Everybody wants the bread from her, and I thought this would just be a wonderful video to make. I'm sure y'all probably had, I don't know, moms, grandmothers, aunts, whoever that made this bread. I've never had anything like it. This is not the bread that you get in the store. This is the true homemade, delicious bread. Okay, so I'm going to just ask her 2 or 3 questions before we get started. So tell us about the recipe. Where did it come from?
Okay, I received the recipe from my mother-in-law about 35 years ago, and I have continued to keep it going without losing it. I take it on vacation with me and take my ingredients and make sure it's fed on time.
The starter. You take the starter with
the starter with
so
me. Cool. And hoping that when I'm in a hotel room, that no one will throw it away because it doesn't have a good smell. but it's very good. It works very well.
And then let's see. Well, you just kind of answered how long you've been making it. Mm-hmm. You said 35 years you've been making it. Okay. And have you ever added anything to it? Like cinnamon, rosemary?
Sometimes I do make cinnamon rolls. I take 2 loaves and I will bake those. The 3rd loaf, I will flatten it out and take cinnamon sugar, brown sugar, cinnamon, and butter, and flatten it out. And then roll it over and over, put it in muffin pans, make cinnamon rolls, and then glaze it.
Oh my
and
goodness.
Then also you can do pepperoni and cheese bread with 1 loaf as well.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. That sounds so good. Okay, and so then before we get started into doing this, briefly just kind of explain what is the process to making the bread.
Okay, it's like a 2-day process. I start out with, in the mornings, I feed my starter, and it's the sugar and potato flakes and warm or hot water out of the faucet. And then it has to be out all day, stirring occasionally. Then at night, I put it into 2 bowls, and with my flour and the ingredients: the flour, the oil, the sugar, salt, and let it sit overnight. Cover it with saran wrap. Let it sit overnight under the oven light. Make sure some heat gets to it. The saran wrap really helps it rise. So then in the mornings, I get up, I punch it down. I get my loaf pans ready, I spray them, and then I divide 3 loaves and put it in the pan, wait for it to rise again. And then once it's has done its thing, then I do my thing and bake it.
That's the favorite part. It's about 30 minutes.
But it takes 30 minutes to bake it. And then I spread some good old butter on top of it.
And then you have heaven.
And then it's good eats.
Oh, yes it is. All right, well, I am excited, so let's get started. So tell me what we do now that you've got the starter ready. What's next?
Okay, I've got the starter ready. I'm going to take it out of the refrigerator. I'm going to put it in my tray. I'm going to start running my hot water because I need very warm water, and it does very, very fine. So while that's going on, I'm going to take it out of the refrigerator. Okay, so I set my jars up here, and to help me out, I put my dates on top of the jars so I'll know the last time I fed it, so I don't forget and feed it too early or too soon or too late. So we got 1 full there, so we're going to take this off. Okay. So now my water, oh, very, very good. So I get a cup of water. Then I go to a cup of sugar, or 3/4 of a cup. This cup I've had forever, so it does very well. And 3 tablespoons of potato flakes. And you can use any kind, it doesn't matter, store brand's fine, or just whatever you choose to do. And then I stir this around. And then I pour it into my starter that I got out of the refrigerator. Then I stir this around.
And you put the potato flakes in now because it helps feed?
Yes, it helps it ferment and for you to rise. It's like a yeast. Okay, so I do the same thing again. Oh, this is fun.
Well, you've been doing it so long, it must be fun.
Yes, I can do it with my eyes closed, probably. I do have the recipe, and I have it for you, but I don't use it.
You don't need it.
I don't use it. I do it so many times. I put it right in here. And I stir again. And then my water's still warm.
It seems like the sugar and the potato flakes dissolve fairly quickly.
They do. They really do. I love my little measuring spoon because it does exactly what I want it to do. Measures correctly. And then I stir again. And if you'll notice, my little jars have orange tops. Well, my mother-in-law had Tang. This is her Tang. She got Tang in. So I don't think they sell Tang anymore, but I have still her same jars. The one in the middle is just an extra jar, but those 2 on the end are my Tang jars.
Nice.
So then, after that, I take paper towels. I'm kind of peculiar. And I don't want nothing getting in my starter all day because it's going to stay out all day. So I'm going to cover it like this, and I prop this up.
Well, that's a good idea.
And I prop this one up. I'm going to take another, and I'm going to, that way it don't fall off because I've got a little, and I prop this one up. So all day long it's going to sit here. So I'll come up, and it has the potatoes and all come to the top. So what I do is I lift this up, I stir around, I put it back, and that's what I do all during the day until about 6:30 tonight, and I'll start making bread. And sometimes I put the Ziploc bags over it, but this time of the year I don't think I really need to. I think this is fine to protect my starter.
So that's it for right now.
That's it for right now.
We'll be back.
All right, sounds good. Yes. Start up the bit. All day long. All right, this morning we did step 1, which was we fed our starters. They've sat here all day. They've been stirred. I don't know how many times, didn't count. But so now step 2. So here we go. The recipe is for, and I know exactly what a tablespoon is because I measured it so much, like in my hand like this.
Nice.
That's a tablespoon. It's the salt. Okay, that's the tablespoon of salt. So now I go back to my sugar, and my little Forever cup tells me that that's a half, which is a half a cup. I'm putting in each one, and so that's it. Now, it calls for a half a cup of corn oil. So,
Now, my question, does it have to be corn oil or can a different
corn
oil,
oil.
just corn oil?
Corn oil is the only thing I've ever used.
Okay.
And you might could, but I haven't tried another kind.
Okay.
It's a half a cup here.
Mm-hmm.
And a half a cup in this one because I'm doing 6 loaves of bread for tomorrow. So now we'll cut my hot water on, and while that's getting like we need it, I'm going to stir this again. I want to do a cup and a half of the starter. The recipe does say 1, but I find it's worked very well for me if I do 1.5. So I do that. Now to the next bowl. That's 1, 2, and 3. All right. So I have extra that I just make sure they got enough to put back in. So now I'm going to my water, and I do a cup and a half of this. So they can start dissolving. Two. And 3. So now I will make sure I stir all this up really good. Let it dissolve. Let it all blend together. Because we're getting ready for some flour. And I use bread flour. You cannot use self-rising. You can't use plain flour. It has got to be bread flour. I find it very expensive at the grocery stores, but I have found that Sam's is the most reasonable place to find it.
Have you tried it with other flours and it just doesn't turn out right?
No, it doesn't. You gotta have bread.
It's got to be this one. Yeah.
It's definitely bread flour. So now this is good. I can feel my little sugar's all dissolved. So now, of course, I have my measuring cups that I've had forever. So, and I do 6 cups of flour. So that's my 2. Okay, and this is 4. This is going to be 6. So now I go to the other bowl. So it's going to be 2. 2, and this will make 4. And usually if I see I need a little more flour, I leave this out so I can kind of go back to it. If I need a little, I can tell how it feels. It's when I am making my, getting my dough ready to let it rise. And I just stir around. I try to go to the bottom of the pan and just keep stirring. And sometimes I have to end up just taking over with kneading a little bit, making a ball. That's what I'm trying to do here, is make a ball. And sometimes most times it does very well. I go as far as I can with this spoon because it makes it easier. So now.
And do you sometimes have to add like a little bit of water, a little bit of flour?
No more water. I don't add
Okay.
more water, but I do add more flour if I need to. I can usually tell how my dough feels when I've got to let it sit overnight. And it's just, I guess after 35 years, I just kind of...
You just know.
I just know.
You just know.
And
you're a bread expert. You just know.
I try, and I do enjoy it. And one thing I really love to do with bread is when people are having chemo, they say that if they have nausea, that it really does help. Just to take a little pinch of it off and set it on the tongue and let it dissolve. So that's kind of a ministry I do for the ones that I notice going through all that.
Aw.
So
I think that's awesome. Well, and the bread is so soft and just so when you're
Oh,
eating it that
yes.
it's wonderful.
It's
It's
straight out-
comforting.
Oh, straight out of the oven. Oh my goodness, it is unbelievable. Okay, so
That's
now I'm
already
gonna-
pretty.
That's already. I'm
doughy.
going to working with my hands now, so because it really. I make sure all is no dry flour, no flour. Just it's going to be dough form.
And you're just squeezing it together.
Squeeze it together.
Just like massaging it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, because we're gonna have some good breasts. I gotta give it a good massage. And I just kind of go back and forth when I have two bowls like this, which is like it's gonna be 6 loaves, 3 loaves per bowl. You can also make good cinnamon buns with it. That is awesome. So,
Ooh, I bet that would be
so
tasty.
you can take like 1 loaf out instead of putting it in a loaf pan. You can take and put it in a muffin can and make cinnamon buns out of it. So that works real good. Now I'm gonna go to this and do the same thing. I don't think I want to need more flour for this one, and this seems like it's feeling really good. Sometimes my measure, I get a little bit hacky. It might have a little too much in a cup or not enough.
Yeah.
So. It's really easy. It just doesn't take as much time as it looks. It's just like doing a little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's just a spread out sort of process.
It
Yeah.
is. It's a 2-day process, but it's worth every bit of it. It doesn't give you so much to do at one time too.
Have you like halved and quartered the recipe,
I've never.
or do you
tried.
always kind of
I
make?
just always do the same amount. Well,
Okay.
like if I'm going to do 9 loaves, it has to be 3 different, pans.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 3 loaves to a pan.
Okay.
Okay, so this feels good. So I'm going to put some oil in my hand, just like this. And I can pull it around on the sides. Kind of work it on the sides. And it'll be just so clean looking when I get ready for my little ball. See how it's doing already?
Yeah.
And I just keep working it around. Around and around.
And the oil is what helps
remove
get it all. Yeah.
remove it from the sides. And then I got this pretty much like one. Okay, this is like a ball. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to put a little bit more. And I can't tell you how much. I just do what looks right, just like this. And then that's all I'm going to do today. It's going to sit just like that. That's done.
And you kind of purposely like leave it oily in a sense. Okay. What does the extra oil? Just helps it as it
I guess
rises.
so. I guess so, because it just, the recipe always said do it, so I did it.
It turns out.
And it turns out.
It turns out.
So this, I'm pulling around this, and I'm going to do a little bit of oil, just like I did the other pan.
Mm-hmm.
I do a little bit to start with, just to kind of make it, make my sides, make sure I have it all off the sides. And it does work. It's fun.
It does look fun.
All right, this is ready for a little bit just to leave on around. Sometimes always even, but it's gonna be good. Now, I wash my hands. So once I wash my hands and get them wrapped and reach into my cabinet, I will grab out some saran wrap and I'll wrap it, and it will sit all night under the oven light. The saran wrap keeps it, keeps anything, particles or whatever, floating around. But also it adds heat to the flour. It helps it rise because the heat's coming from the stove light. Mm-hmm. So here I'm going to get my saran wrap.
You got the industrial size. You don't even mess around.
So, and I wrap it just like this. It will sit all night, just like this. And I'll do the same for the next one. And it clings, believe me.
That was going to be my next question. Does it cling totally?
Yes,
Do you have to put a thing around it to take it?
It clings very, very nice. So there I am. So that's going to sit here until in the morning, maybe about 8:30. And we'll go to step 3.
Yep. Yep, all right.
Okay, this one, we start with step 3. The first thing I do is, of course, always wipe my pans out to make sure that they are nice and clean.
And I'm assuming these are ones you've had a long
I've
time.
had these a while. They are non-stick, but although they're non-stick, I do spray some butter flavored spray in them just to be sure. So I'm going to start spraying, and I do it over my sink, and I just spray it really, really good. And then I said I'm going to use it. Okay, this, so I do each one of these like this. And I spray over my sink because I don't want to spray everywhere.
Yeah, because that stuff would make a mess.
Yeah, it can be greasy. Don't want that. So this is what I do here.
And have you found that this spray is the best?
Works well for me. I have
Okay.
tried others, and this is just some from Walmart, great value, and I love it. It's butter flavored, and it does good, and it tastes good too.
And the spray does better than like putting flour. You don't
I
like.
don't do the flour. So
Okay.
I'm going to move this to the side, and I'm going to line these up so I'll have them under my light. Move this over because I'm going to be working with it shortly, and so I'll line these up, and then I'll have them ready for my bread. So now I take my saran wrap off.
Look at how much that's risen, guys.
Oh, I know. It really does its thing. And then I just go to town with it and move it from the edges of the bowl. So I get all of my dough.
Get all the good stuff.
Get all the good stuff. And then I just flip it over and over and over and make sure they've got just about all of it. And then I try to make me little balls. So I'm going to squeeze this off. And here I go. You just knead it with your hands, just roll it around. Look at the air bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. And I try to get it as even as I can. Sometimes one loaf might be just a tad larger than the other, but that's okay. That's okay because it's all little or big is good.
Agree.
So I just keep until it feels really, really good, and it's just the feel that I have for bread. I guess I've done it so long I could probably close my eyes and do this. But I make a nice little ball. As you can see, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it in the pan. So then I go back and get another. This one might not be as big, but that's okay. They still rise really well.
It still turns into delicious bread. And you don't add any more oil to it because it still has the oil from the last step.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then same here. This is the third one. And this is one that you could actually take one, just lay it out and make cinnamon rolls with it if you'd like, and then use a muffin pan. But
you would so to do that, this is where you would take it and then divvy it up
and flatten it out, and then put spread it out and put your filling in it, whether it's pepperoni cheese or whether it's cinnamon, and then you can roll it over and over and take a knife and cut it nicely and put it in muffin pans. That way it kind of makes the size, keeps the size, and it doesn't rise everywhere.
Now, and if you were to do that with it, because we're going to put it in here and let that rise again. So if you do it like for cinnamon rolls, then do you have to do it and let it rise?
Same thing.
So you still have to let it sit and then add the stuff. And okay.
Yep, and then when cinnamon rolls are awesome.
I bet. Oh my goodness.
And then you glaze them while they're hot, and they're just yummy.
Melt in your mouth, probably.
And the same procedure here. I'm just doing a second batch, and so I just kind of get it all together. Make sure I got all my dough, and then do the same thing again. You just play with it. It's fun.
It does look fun.
Yes, it is, especially when it's a complete project. Everybody has something they like to do, and this is mine.
That's right. This is one of your gifts.
This is something I just love.
Your talent. That's right. I guess my question, were you good at it from the beginning, or did it take a while to kind of get?
Yes, it does take a while.
Yeah.
It really does. It's amazing how something like this can be so good, and you can't buy it at the grocery store. That's the truth.
No.
You really can't.
Well, that's why I got so excited over your bread, because I probably had it when I was little that somebody had made, a similar recipe, and I hadn't had it again in 40 years until yours, and it was just like, oh my God, this is so good.
Another thing, it makes super good French toast. It does wonderful garlic toast.
Ooh, yeah.
Also, croutons. Oh my goodness, croutons.
Ooh.
You can just put some little spices, whatever you like on it, and that's, whatever what you would like.
Now, do you make, like for the croutons, do you kind of let it dry out, or do you bake it to dry?
Let it dry out for that.
Okay.
So this is the...
Gosh, there's a lot you can do with this recipe.
It is. And the croutons are better. I mean, they're amazing. You just can't buy them that good either. And I bake them just after they're dry. I put them in a Ziploc bag, and they'll last quite a while. And the flavor stays with them.
Yeah. Oh, that
longer
sounds so good.
too than the ones you would normally buy at the store.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Anything homemade is going to be better and taste better than the stuff you get at the store. That's been processed and all sorts of additional mess in it. And
I know. I know what's in this because I made it.
That's right.
So, all right, that's the 6 loaves made. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the saran wrap and I'm going to cover this up because the heat is going to make this rise.
Again.
Okay.
And
it's going to go to the top of these pans and maybe a little over. And then, make sure nothing gets in it. So it just kind of keeps it nice and clean and warm. So what more could that add? Well, the bread asked for. So, okay, so now we're going to wait and let it rise. And once it rises, it's going to be ready for step 4.
And how long does this take for it to rise the next time?
I'm thinking maybe 3 hours. 3 and 3.5. Sometimes it just depends. If it's a cloudy day, sometimes it can take a little just the humidity really. But this morning we did a little sneak thing. We got logs on, so the kitchen's nice and toasty.
Nice.
Yeah. So
nice.
Hopefully it's gonna rise quicker.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll be back.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Good.
This is step 4. So here we go. We're gonna take the saran wrap off and see how easily it comes off. It just does so nicely, and I'll just take the saran wrap there. Do the same here.
And look how much it's risen.
Yes, can you believe that? It's exciting. So now the oven has already been preheated up to 350 bake. So here we go. All 3 loaves at once.
Oh, you do 3 loaves at once?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll switch around and get one of these that's risen a little higher back here. Because it might want to show itself. Alrighty, and so I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes.
And what's it on? It's on 350.
350,
Okay.
and it's on bake. And I set my timer to 30 minutes, and then that's pretty much it for right now. Just in 30 minutes, we're going to be having some good bread.
Yay! Okay. Okay, so tell me about your house up here, and tell me about these pieces from the house.
Okay. This is a home that I grew up in. 1942. My parents bought this home. So now it's been sold and others have it, but they allowed us to go in and get pieces of wood. So this is a little tree that my son-in-law made for me out of the wood. I'm not sure what part of the house it came from, but it's just nice thick wood. And I kind of like putting little lights on it. They're lively.
The lights are super cute.
And this sign, Love is Sweet, that came from my sister and I shared a bedroom, and this was wood from our bedroom in the upstairs part.
And did they paint it or do anything, or they took it off just as
They took it off and just kind of, I guess, refinished just a little bit. But
Looks
not-
like
but
it looks
not
like
a
there's
lot.
some kind of sparkles on it, like they
Yeah.
made it pretty.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. And then we'll have the tray.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell me about this piece.
Okay, this was a cabinet door from our kitchen. The kitchen was like a mustard color, as you can see the little mustard color peeping through. My daughter had someone to finish and put the doors. These actually the little handles on the doors.
Oh, those are the original.
Yes, they are the original
Aw.
handles.
Oh, look how cute they are.
So, and this is my little surfing tray now, which I just love.
It's so cute and complete with the
Yes,
holes
yes,
and everything.
Yes, exactly.
Because you want it like as original as you
Yes,
can get
exactly, and it is.
it. Oh, that's
I love it.
perfect. That's perfect.
Okay, so the timer's gone off, and it's time to take the bread out of the oven. And I give it a good little shake. So out it comes.
Gosh, that's easy.
Yes, easy enough, huh? Then I place it so I can butter. And then here comes the next one. Give it a little shake. It comes out. Flip it over.
You make this look too easy.
That's second. And then the one that we're going to share, we're going to put on the block. Yes. So next, I'm going to put this in so it can start doing its thing. And the oven's nice and hot, so it's all ready for it. Okay, and I'll set my timer, 30 minutes. Is for my next bake. All right, and then my next step is I take my butter and I take this little stick, nothing fancy, I just run all over it.
Oh,
Just on the sides and just get the sides good, and it just melts so nicely. Everybody wants the end piece to the bread. I don't know why. Do you? All this butter.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's it.
That's it.
It's like the end pieces of the brownie.
Yes,
You know.
absolutely. And I just go all around it with my little stick. That makes it easy. I have a little butter thing where you spread with, but it doesn't do good. It wants to take the top off my bread. I don't like that. So and then this is what we're going to share. I do the same thing here. All right. So this is the last thing we do, and guess what we do now?
We get to eat it.
Let's go. Well, I'll cut it on this end so you can see. It's just a little end piece there. It is so soft. You can see how it does when it's so soft.
But that's like the perfect thing to cut it, though.
Yes. The perfect way to cut.
All right. We're ready.
All right. Yay.
Let's try it.
What do you think, Cheryl?
Oh, it's so good. It makes me want to cry. Like, seriously. And even warm. This is my first time having it straight out of the oven like this. If y'all have ever been to Krispy Kreme and you know what it's like when you get that hot, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
When you get that hot Krispy Kreme donut off the line and it melts in your mouth, y'all, that's what this is like. Oh. And we put honey butter on it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I wish I could, like, put this through the video so y'all could smell it, eat it. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
It's wonderful. It's delicious. It's so good.
Yes, Cheryl, it sure is.
All right. Well, I'm going to close out the video. This has been fantastic. It is so good. Let me know in the comments, have you had this? Do you know somebody, your mom, your grandmother, your aunt, I don't know, someone that made a similar kind of recipe? Are they still making it? And let me know. I mean, I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much
This has been so much
for
fun,
letting
Cheryl.
me do this.
Thank you for sharing with me.
Yeah, I really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to close out my video like I always do and remind you, time is precious. Carpe diem, seize the day. I'll see you next time.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.